Your mind is your strongest weapon when you know how to train it. The life you want begins with the thoughts you choose every single day. What you focus on with discipline becomes the reality you live in. Everyone wants to achieve more, live with purpose, and finally reach the goals that often feel just out of reach. The truth is, it all begins in one place: your mind. The way you think, the way you shape your beliefs, and the way you direct your focus will decide how far you go in life. Most people never reach their full potential because they allow doubt, fear, and distractions to control their thinking. But the ones who learn to take control of their mind, who learn how to discipline their thoughts, and who train themselves to stay focused on what matters, those are the ones who rise above average and build the life they truly desire. In this video, we're going to break down how you can train your mind so you can unlock your inner strength, sharpen your focus, and create a mindset that pushes you to achieve anything you set your heart on. If you're ready to train your mind to achieve anything you desire, then let's dive in. Number 1, focus daily on one clear, purposeful mental goal. Most people wake up every day without a clear mental direction. They step into the morning with their mind already scattered, thinking about unfinished tasks, yesterday's worries, and random thoughts that keep them from moving forward. This is why so many feel stuck. They carry inside themselves the frustration of being busy all the time but never making real progress toward anything meaningful. If the mind is not trained, it will drift anywhere. And when it drifts, life feels like it is happening to you instead of being guided by you. To achieve anything you desire, the very first step is to place all of your attention and energy each day on one clear, purposeful mental goal. When you wake up with one mental target that carries meaning for you, you give your mind the structure it craves and the discipline it needs to produce results. Without this, energy is wasted, and life moves on without you directing it. Think of how powerful your day becomes when you decide, from the very start, that your mind will revolve around a single clear goal. It doesn't have to be a massive achievement right away. It could be something that aligns with your long-term vision, but can be worked on today in a meaningful way. For example, if your ultimate goal is financial independence, your mental goal for the day might be to study a chapter of a book on investing and apply one principle to your current situation. If your long-term desire is improved health, your daily mental goal could be committing to a workout and focusing fully on it without distractions. The power lies not in trying to do everything at once, but in focusing your mental energy like a laser on one purposeful action each day. When you do this, your mind starts to form a habit. It begins to expect direction from you instead of pulling you into random distractions. You build a stronger relationship with yourself because you are proving each day that your thoughts have meaning and that you have the ability to direct them. Over time, this consistency compounds. One goal each day may not look like much in the beginning, but when practiced daily, it transforms you into someone who can achieve anything they desire. It shifts your self-image because you no longer see yourself as someone who hopes things will work out, but as someone who takes intentional steps daily toward a chosen direction. Now imagine how this feels emotionally. Each night when you look back at your day, you no longer feel that uncomfortable emptiness of wasted time. Instead, you experience satisfaction because you know your mental energy was invested in something meaningful. That feeling builds confidence. Confidence is not born from luck or chance. It comes from the quiet but steady proof that you can give your mind a task and follow through with it. With each day that you focus on one clear, purposeful mental goal, you strengthen the muscle of discipline, sharpen the clarity of your thinking, and create an internal momentum that nothing outside of you can take away. And when life throws distractions or difficulties, as it always will, you don't collapse into confusion because you already know where your mind belongs. You've trained it to focus, to choose what matters, and to ignore what does not serve you. This is the foundation of achievement. It starts not with talent, not with resources, not with luck, but with the deliberate act of giving your mind a single clear direction every single day. Over time, this focus becomes the quiet but unstoppable force that shapes your entire life. Number 2, replace negative inner dialogue with empowering affirmations. Every person knows what it feels like to carry an endless stream of negative thoughts inside their head. It happens quietly, without permission, and often without even realizing it. You wake up and before the day begins, the mind whispers that you are behind, not capable enough, or that success belongs to someone else but not you. This inner dialogue drains energy, kills motivation, and creates invisible barriers that keep you from even attempting to move forward. The most damaging part is that this conversation happens silently, hidden from others, yet it has more power over your actions than the outside world ever could. Until you take control of what you say to yourself, no external opportunity will matter. The human mind believes what it hears most often. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, then your mind will search for proof to confirm that doubt. If you constantly think that you are not good enough, then your brain begins to collect experiences to support that belief. This cycle keeps people trapped in the same place year after year. The way out of this trap is to replace the destructive words in your head with affirmations that strengthen you, encourage you, and push you toward your goals. This is not about repeating empty phrases. It is about choosing language that shifts the way you see yourself and builds the belief that you are capable of creating progress. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, stop and replace the thought with a statement that empowers you. If the mind says, "I cannot handle this challenge," you replace it with, "I am strong enough to face this and grow." If the thought arises, "I will never succeed," you immediately counter with, "I am moving forward every day, and success is already in motion." The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Your mind is like a recorder that plays back what you feed it most consistently. The choice is always yours. You can feed it words that destroy you, or you can feed it words that build you. Think about the emotional impact this has on your daily life. Imagine starting your morning not with criticism, but with strength. You tell yourself, "Today I will take control of my thoughts. Today I will direct my energy where it matters. Today I will prove to myself that I am capable." Those words are not just sounds. They carry emotional weight that lifts your energy and sets the tone for your actions. Over time, your inner dialogue becomes a steady source of encouragement rather than a constant attack. This practice shapes how you handle challenges. When failure happens, instead of hearing a voice that says, "See, I told you that you are not good enough," you begin to hear, "This is temporary. I will adjust. I will learn, and I will continue." That difference changes everything. It creates resilience, builds confidence, and fuels consistent effort. Your outer world begins to match your inner voice, because what you repeatedly tell yourself becomes the foundation of your behavior. Replacing negative inner dialogue with empowering affirmations is not a small exercise. It is the process of rewriting the story of your life, one thought at a time. Number 3, visualize desired outcomes vividly until they feel real. Most people live their days only reacting to what happens around them. They rarely take time to create a clear picture in their mind of the life they actually want. Because of this, they end up chasing whatever is in front of them, instead of building the future they truly desire. The truth is, before anything becomes reality, it must first exist in your mind with such clarity and strength that you can almost feel it as if it were already here. When you visualize your desired outcomes vividly, you give your brain a target. Without that vision, your energy spreads thin, your actions lack direction, and you repeat the same patterns that leave you frustrated. Visualization is not a vague exercise of wishing. It is a discipline where you create detailed mental images of what you want to achieve. The more specific you are, the more powerful this practice becomes. If your goal is to build a successful career, don't just think about success in general terms. Picture yourself walking into the office or workspace you've always wanted. See the environment around you, the people you interact with, the way you carry yourself, and the sense of pride you feel when you know you've earned it. If your desire is better health, don't simply say you want to be healthy. See yourself in the mirror with strength and energy in your body. Feel the vitality when you wake up in the morning, and notice the calm confidence that comes from being in control of your well-being. The power of this practice lies in emotion. Your brain cannot fully separate an intensely imagined experience from a real one. When you consistently visualize your goals with emotion, your mind begins to accept them as part of your reality. This shift is critical because it changes how you act. You no longer move hesitantly or doubt every step, because your brain has already accepted the possibility of success. Your actions become aligned with that vision, and each decision you make supports what you have already seen so clearly in your mind. This also strengthens your persistence. Life will present setbacks, delays, and challenges that can easily discourage anyone who doesn't have a strong picture of what they want. But when you have visualized your outcome so vividly that it feels real, temporary difficulties lose their power over you. You can endure the hard days because you carry inside your mind the clear image of where you are going. That image gives you strength when motivation is low and keeps you moving when the path feels uncertain. When practiced daily, visualization becomes a powerful mental habit. You no longer just wish for change, you mentally rehearse it until it feels natural. This habit shapes your identity because the more you imagine yourself achieving, the more your brain looks for ways to make that vision match reality. Over time, your choices, your discipline, and your persistence align with the life you have been rehearsing in your mind. And when that happens, what once felt distant begins to take shape in your actual life, step by step, until the vision you once held only in your mind becomes the reality you live each day. Number 4. Strengthen self-discipline through small, consistent daily actions. Most people fail to achieve their desires not because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity, but because they cannot control their actions on a daily basis. They know what they should do, yet they delay, they procrastinate, and they allow excuses to take over. This is the gap that destroys progress. Self-discipline is the bridge between knowing and doing. Without it, even the clearest goals and the strongest visions remain only dreams. But here's the reality. Self-discipline is not built overnight with massive efforts. It grows through small, consistent daily actions that are repeated until they become part of who you are. The mistake many make is believing discipline requires huge sacrifices all at once. They think they must completely change their life in a single moment, and when they fail to keep up, they feel defeated and quit altogether. Real discipline is built different. It is built by proving to yourself in small ways that you can follow through. Each time you keep a small promise to yourself, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. Wake up at the time you set, follow through on one task you committed to, finish what you started. That's how you build the mental toughness that allows you to handle bigger challenges later. Consistency is the secret. One workout does not make you healthy, but showing up every day does. Reading one page does not make you knowledgeable, but reading every day creates a mind full of ideas. Writing one paragraph will not produce a book, but writing consistently transforms small efforts into lasting results. Discipline is not about intensity, it is about persistence. Each small daily action sends a message to your mind. I can trust myself to do what I said I would do. That trust is what builds true confidence. You will notice an emotional change when discipline becomes part of your identity. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind resists, telling you to rest, to delay, to choose the easier path. But each time you push through and complete even a small task, you experience a quiet sense of pride. That pride fuels momentum. Over time, the actions that once felt difficult become automatic, and what used to be excuses no longer hold the same power. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who struggles to stay consistent, but as someone who follows through no matter how small or simple the task. This steady habit of discipline spills into every area of life. When challenges come, you don't collapse under pressure because you have trained your mind to act with consistency instead of reacting with weakness. You no longer waste energy deciding whether to do what needs to be done. You simply do it because that is who you have become. And as each day adds to the next, those small actions create massive results. This is how discipline is built. Not by rare moments of great effort, but by the steady daily proof that you are in control of your choices and that you can be counted on to follow through. Number 5. Learn to control distractions and sharpen mental clarity. Most people today live in a constant state of interruption. Their phone buzzes, notifications pop up, conversations pull them in different directions, and by the end of the day they wonder where all their time and energy went. This constant noise drains focus, scatters thoughts, and keeps the mind from ever entering deep clarity. The truth is, distractions are not just small inconveniences, they are the greatest thief of progress. Without control over them, the mind becomes weak, restless, and unable to fully commit to anything meaningful. Learning to control distractions is not about shutting the world out completely, but about training your mind to choose what deserves your attention and what doesn't. The first step in sharpening mental clarity is awareness. Most people don't even realize how often their attention is stolen. They move from one thing to another without finishing anything. Their mind becomes fragmented, carrying pieces of unfinished thoughts from every direction. When you bring awareness to this, you begin to notice how often your focus is broken and how much energy is wasted. This realization alone can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary, because until you face the truth of how distracted you are, you cannot take control of your mind. Once awareness is developed, the key is to create deliberate boundaries. That means setting aside time for focused work where nothing else interferes. It means turning off unnecessary notifications, stepping away from environments filled with interruptions, and deciding in advance where your attention will go. Mental clarity grows when you remove the clutter that clouds your thinking. Even small changes like working in a quiet space, keeping your phone out of reach, or finishing one task before starting another, train your brain to value concentration over constant stimulation. With practice, you begin to experience a different quality of thought. Instead of shallow focus where your mind jumps restlessly, you enter a state where your ideas become sharper, your decisions stronger, and your productivity more natural. This clarity is powerful because it allows you to see opportunities you would have missed if you were constantly distracted. It gives you the strength to handle challenges without being overwhelmed because your mind is steady and directed instead of scattered and chaotic. The emotional effect of controlling distractions is equally important. When you spend your days reacting to interruptions, you end up feeling drained and unfulfilled. But when you choose where your focus goes, you feel a sense of control over your life. You end your day with a clear mind rather than mental exhaustion. That feeling builds confidence because you know your energy was used on things that matter instead of being wasted on noise. Sharpening mental clarity is a skill that improves with consistency. Every time you resist the urge to get lost in distractions and instead stay with the task in front of you, you strengthen your ability to focus. Each moment of clarity adds up, shaping your mind into a tool you can rely on. And when you master this, you no longer live at the mercy of interruptions. You live with purpose, choosing your focus, guiding your actions, and creating results that distractions could never allow you to achieve. Number 6, build resilience by reframing obstacles as growth opportunities. Every person faces setbacks, disappointments, and moments where progress seems to collapse. Some people allow these moments to break them, while others use them as the very fuel to become stronger. The difference is not in the difficulty of the obstacle, but in the way it is interpreted. Many live with the belief that problems mean they are unlucky or not capable, and because of this belief, they give up too soon. But those who achieve what they desire develop resilience by viewing every obstacle as a chance to grow. They train their mind to ask not why me, but what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? That shift in perspective transforms struggles into stepping stones. Life will never remove challenges from your path. Expecting an easy road is the fastest way to disappointment. The reality is, you will face rejection, you will encounter delays, and you will meet failures that sting. But resilience means you refuse to let those experiences define your future. Instead, you treat each one as training for the strength you need tomorrow. If you are rejected in your career, resilience allows you to see it as feedback, a chance to sharpen your skills, and proof that you are still in motion rather than standing still. If you fail at building a habit, resilience means you don't label yourself as weak. You adjust your approach and try again until you succeed. The emotional side of resilience is crucial. Without it, people sink into discouragement, lose confidence, and carry bitterness toward life. But when you reframe obstacles, you protect your energy. Instead of seeing problems as personal attacks, you recognize them as part of growth. This mindset gives you freedom because you stop fearing failure. You understand that every setback has within it an experience that will prepare you for future success. This way of thinking brings calm during chaos, because even in difficulty, you know you are becoming stronger. Resilience also builds character. Each time you face a struggle and rise again, you add to your identity as someone who does not quit easily. Over time, this creates a deep belief in yourself. You begin to see yourself as capable of enduring anything. That belief makes you courageous, because when new challenges appear, you no longer run from them. You welcome them as another chance to prove your strength. And the more challenges you endure, the more unstoppable you become, because nothing can shake a person who has already learned to rise from setbacks. When you practice this mindset daily, Obstacles lose their power to intimidate you. You begin to notice opportunities within every challenge, skills you gain, patience you build, wisdom you collect. What once seemed like punishment now feels like preparation. And with that understanding, your mind no longer sees barriers, it sees pathways. This is how resilience is built, by refusing to let life's difficulties define you, and by choosing to turn every obstacle into a chance to rise higher than you were before. Number 7, practice gratitude to maintain a positive, success-oriented mindset. Many people spend their lives focusing on what they don't have, constantly comparing themselves to others, and feeling unsatisfied no matter how much progress they make. This way of thinking creates frustration, steals motivation, and blinds them to the opportunities right in front of them. Without gratitude, even great achievements feel empty, because the mind always finds a reason to be unhappy. Gratitude is not simply saying thank you. It is a deliberate practice of shifting your attention toward what is already valuable in your life. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to recognize abundance instead of lack, and that mental shift keeps you in the right state to pursue success with clarity and energy. Gratitude changes how you experience each day. The same situation can either feel heavy or light, depending on how you interpret it. For example, a demanding job may seem like a burden if you only focus on the stress, but through gratitude, you can see it as an opportunity to develop skills, earn income, and grow stronger under pressure. When faced with difficulties, gratitude allows you to find small positives, whether it's the lesson you learned, the people supporting you, or the fact that you still have the chance to try again tomorrow. By focusing on what is present rather than what is missing, you create mental stability that prevents negativity from dominating your thoughts. This practice does more than lift your mood. It directly influences your drive for success. A grateful person is more persistent because they approach life from a place of strength rather than lack. They don't waste time complaining about what isn't perfect, and instead use their energy to build on what they already have. Gratitude fuels optimism, and optimism creates the courage to keep moving forward even when results are slow. Without gratitude, setbacks feel like the end. With gratitude, setbacks feel like temporary moments that still carry value. On a deeper level, gratitude strengthens relationships, and strong relationships are critical for long-term success. When you appreciate the people who help you, you build loyalty and trust. When you recognize the contributions of others, they are more likely to support your journey. Gratitude creates connection, and connection opens doors that selfishness never could. By practicing gratitude daily, you not only shape your own mindset, but also influence the environment around you, making it more supportive and encouraging. Gratitude must be intentional. It is not enough to feel thankful occasionally. You must make it a daily mental habit. Each morning, take time to recognize 3 things you are grateful for. Each evening, reflect on the progress you made and the experiences that gave your day meaning. This simple practice rewires your thinking. Over time, your mind becomes conditioned to search for positives, even in challenges. Instead of waking up with complaints, you wake up with perspective. Instead of ending the day frustrated, you end it with satisfaction. Gratitude ensures that while you chase bigger goals, you remain grounded, focused, and emotionally balanced. That balance is what allows you to keep a positive, success-oriented mindset no matter what life brings. Number 8, expand knowledge continuously to unlock new mental perspectives. One of the main reasons people remain stuck in the same place year after year is because they stop learning once formal education ends. They rely only on what they already know, and as a result, their mind becomes limited, their choices become narrow, and their growth slows down. The reality is that life keeps moving forward, and if you are not expanding your knowledge, you are falling behind without even realizing it. New opportunities, new ideas, and new solutions come only when you expose yourself to fresh perspectives. Without this, the mind operates in circles, repeating the same patterns and producing the same results. Continuous learning is not about memorizing facts or chasing degrees. It is about feeding your mind with information that sharpens your thinking and broadens your vision. When you read a book, listen to an expert, study a new skill, or explore different fields of knowledge, you stretch your mind beyond its current limits. Each piece of knowledge gives you another tool to face challenges with greater confidence. It allows you to approach problems from different angles instead of being trapped by a single way of thinking. This flexibility is what creates breakthroughs in life and in work. Knowledge also strengthens decision-making. When you limit yourself to what you already know, you tend to choose the safe, familiar path, even if it keeps you stuck. But when you continuously expand your knowledge, you discover alternatives you never considered before. You begin to connect ideas from different areas, and those connections spark creativity. Many of the greatest successes in history were created by people who combined knowledge from different fields to form something entirely new. Expanding your knowledge gives you that same ability. This practice also impacts your self-image. Every time you learn something new, you begin to see yourself as capable of growth. You no longer identify as someone who is limited by past experience, but as someone who can adapt, evolve, and thrive in any environment. That belief builds confidence. It allows you to walk into unfamiliar situations, knowing you can learn whatever is required. Instead of fearing change, you welcome it because your mind is prepared to absorb new information and turn it into strength. Learning must become a daily habit, not a once-in-a-while activity. Even a few minutes each day of reading, studying, or practicing a skill compounds over time. Those small sessions accumulate into deep knowledge that sets you apart from the majority of people who stop learning after school. By making it a priority, you keep your mind alive, sharp, and open to possibility. The emotional reward of continuous learning is powerful. It brings excitement because every day feels like progress. It prevents boredom because there is always something new to explore. And it brings a sense of pride because you know you are investing in yourself in a way that no one can take away. Knowledge builds freedom. The more you know, the more choices you have. The more you understand, the less fear you carry. By expanding your knowledge continuously, you not only unlock new mental perspectives, you unlock the potential to shape a life that is far greater than the one you live today. Number 9, surround yourself with people who inspire relentless progress. One of the biggest reasons people never reach their true potential is because of the environment they choose to live in. Many surround themselves with individuals who complain, doubt, or settle for less, and without realizing it, they slowly adopt the same mindset. You can have great ambition, but if you spend your time with people who constantly remind you of limitations, eventually their words and attitudes sink into your thinking. Progress becomes almost impossible when your circle holds you back instead of lifting you up. The truth is, the people around you either fuel your growth or drain your drive. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, you must deliberately choose to surround yourself with those who inspire you to keep moving forward. When you spend time with people who aim high, their energy influences your own standards. You begin to expect more from yourself because you see others living with discipline and determination. Their persistence makes excuses feel weak. Their belief in possibility reminds you that setbacks are not final. This environment of ambition pushes you to stretch further than you would on your own. Just as negativity spreads, so does progress. The determination of those around you sparks your own determination, and what once seemed difficult now feels natural. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not about chasing those who are already successful in a material sense. It is about choosing individuals whose values, habits, and attitudes align with growth. These are the people who encourage learning, celebrate discipline, and refuse to settle for mediocrity. They remind you to stay committed to your vision when distractions try to pull you away. They hold you accountable when you are tempted to give less than your best. With them, progress is not an option. It is the expectation. This choice also has a strong emotional impact. When you are supported by people who believe in relentless progress, you feel more confident to take risks, more resilient when setbacks happen, and more energized when the path feels long. Their encouragement makes you realize you are not walking alone. Even in difficult times, their presence strengthens your belief that growth is possible. This sense of belonging and shared pursuit of improvement is a powerful motivator that keeps you moving forward. But the responsibility is not only to receive inspiration, you must also become someone who inspires. If you want to belong to a circle of progress, you need to contribute your own energy, effort, and encouragement. Growth-oriented relationships are built on mutual strength. When you uplift others, they are more likely to uplift you. This exchange creates a powerful environment where progress is constant and unstoppable. Choosing your circle is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you will settle. If you surround yourself with people who rise, you will rise. Over time, you will notice your habits, mindset, and results reflecting the company you keep. That is why the choice must be deliberate. If you want relentless progress, place yourself among those who embody it, and soon you will become the very person who inspires others to push beyond their limits. Number 10. Never stop challenging the limits of your own potential. Most people live their lives trapped within invisible walls they have built for themselves. They convince themselves that they can only go so far, that certain dreams are out of reach, and that they are not capable of more. The harsh reality is that these walls are not real. They are created by fear, doubt, and the comfort of staying safe. Every day, countless people settle for less than they are capable of, not because they truly lack potential, but because they never dare to test their own limit. Life does not hand greatness to anyone. It demands that you step into discomfort and challenge everything you thought you could not do. The truth is, growth only happens when you move beyond the familiar. If you always do what feels comfortable, you will always stay where you are. Comfort is where dreams quietly die, because nothing new is born there. To unlock your full potential, you must constantly push against the boundaries of what you believe is possible for you. That means attempting things you have never tried, facing situations that scare you, and refusing to allow failure to define your worth. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your strength and prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than you imagined. Challenging your limits is not about competing with others. It is about competing with the person you were yesterday. It is about refusing to remain stagnant when you know you can rise higher. Your potential is not fixed. It grows with every challenge you embrace. Every struggle, every obstacle, and every setback is an opportunity to break through another layer of limitation. When you stop testing your limits, you stop growing. And when growth ends, life begins to feel empty and unfulfilling. The process is never easy. There will be times when you feel overwhelmed, times when progress seems painfully slow, and times when failure stings harder than you expected. But those moments are proof that you are stretching beyond what is comfortable. That pain is the sign of growth. If you quit because it feels difficult, you will return to the very life you wanted to escape. But if you keep pushing, even when it feels unbearable, you will discover strength you never knew you had. Challenging your limits also requires belief. If you convince yourself you cannot, you will not even try. But if you allow yourself to believe that more is possible, you open the door to discovering new levels of power within yourself. Belief fuels action, and action reveals ability. The cycle repeats as you continue to push forward. The reality is this: no one truly knows their full potential until they test it. You may think you have given your best, but the truth is, there is always another level. The human spirit is capable of incredible resilience, creativity, and strength, but only if you demand it from yourself. Never accept the boundaries your fears impose. Break them, challenge them, prove them wrong. Because the moment you stop testing your limits is the moment you stop living fully. Your potential is waiting, but only if you are bold enough to chase it.